this film was just an incredible opportunity for me. And more than anything, I found it was an opportunity for me to write a love letter to cinema, to all of the things that I love about going to the movies and watching movies with an audience. That feeling that drove me to want to become a filmmaker, drove me to film school, drove me to want to learn how to create these things. And I'm incorporating all of the lessons that I've learned, over the last 4 films that I've written and directed, maximizing all the relationships that I formed with all of the folks that helped me make those movies. And I'm kind of just like, cashing it in, you know what I'm saying, on this picture. And at the same time, it's the first film that I've made, like, since I think I've become like a fully formed person, you know what I mean? And kind of know who I am, you know what I mean? For the first time, I'm a dad, a husband, a business owner. And I've been through some things, and it's given me some perspective, but also I'm still curious about life, and those questions are put into this film. So yeah, I think in many ways it's the most important movie I've ever made, and it's straight from me to audiences.
Everybody, welcome to the SyFy Sistas podcast, where we give you our point of view. I'm Tamia Harper, and today we have a special show. I'm joined by my sisters, Yvette Blackman-Ton.
Hello.
Sabrina Wood.
Whoop, whoop.
And Fran T.
What's happening, y'all?
What's happening is that this is a SyFy Sistas family show, baby. We got SyFy Sistas Inc. in the house. We got Derek Tyler Attico. Hey. Host of Soul of the Story, and Tanya Scott-Thomas.
What's up, Trekkies?
Hey. Host of Two Moons and a Microphone. Woohoo!
I am so excited!
Oh.
The whole fam.
And we are all drawn together today to talk about the phenomenon that is the movie Sinners. And to lead it is a phenomenon, and rightfully so. And to lead us in the discussion, the cinnamon cinephile herself will be taking it over. Come on, Sin.
All right now. This is going to be a conversation, because this has got to be one of those water cooler moments. You know where you were when you first saw this movie. You're going to remember. You're going to tell everybody, girl, I saw it I don't know how many times. And it is just breaking records. And I feel like I am personally proud of Ryan Coogler and this entire cast. Like, they are representing all of us, and we are just so proud of them. So I'm going to start this off by introducing just a little bit. We've introduced everybody here. You guys all kind of know who we are. I'm going to give you a little plot summary, because if you're like the one guy that's been sitting on the moon that doesn't know what this movie is about, let me help you out and, give you...
They seen it on the moon.
Seriously. For real.
I'm telling you, because,
Because there's at least one brother on the moon.
There's one brother on the moon.
At least, right?
Or sister.
Mm-hmm.
Two sisters and one brother.
Uh-oh.
So... Here's the little plot summary. Trying to leave their troubled lives behind, twin brothers return to their hometown in Mississippi to start again, only to discover an even greater evil is waiting to welcome them back. That plot summary don't tell you nothing about what's going on.
No, but it's
Don't tell you.
Little...
That's the official plot summary. I'm like,
if I read that plot summary and I was like, if it was Blockbuster back in the day and that was on the jacket cover, and as I was choosing the VHS tapes, that would have stayed right on the shelf.
Throw it back.
So
Throw it back in the bin.
Back in the bin.
This is what I'm saying. It's like, set up for failure. This is what you write. So, all right, I'm gonna try it again. I'm gonna off the top of my head give you one. All right. 2 twin brothers back from the World War I debacle of black people getting shot up for nothing, come back to Mississippi at the height of evil race relations to just set up a juke joint and have their own little thing. But when they come back, they find out it's not just the white people, but a whole bunch of other crazy people that are coming for them.
See?
There you go.
I would rent that movie.
Okay. So what I do want to read though is something from Ryan Coogler himself. This is the end of his filmmaker statement. And thank you so much, Warner Brothers, for sending us the press release. We really appreciate that. I mean, we thoroughly enjoyed it. But here is the last sentence of Ryan Coogler's filmmaker statement. Sinners is my love letter to all things that I love about going to the movies as a cinephile, especially watching films with an audience. It's the communal experience. And this movie was made to be seen with a crowd of people you don't know.
Very true.
So I just want to go around. How many times? All right. Did you know about the movie and how many times have you seen it? Okay, wait a minute. Let me start first. Are you a horror fan? Who here is a horror fan?
Direct us. Tell us, because we got a lot of cats in this
Yvette. Yvette.
No.
When you heard about Sinners and it was a horror film, that was a flat no?
No, it was not, because Ryan Coogler was doing it. So I knew about Sinners before I knew it was a horror film.
Ah.
So I found out it was a horror film afterwards because, I knew, what's Wumi? Is that how you say her name?
Mm-hmm. Wumi.
Mm-hmm. Wumi was in it. I saw her first, and then I saw Ryan Coogler, and then my man who played Slim.
Delroy Lindo.
Delroy Lindo was that was it. I was done. I was in.
Right.
And then I found that I was like, horror? Oh man, come on. But then when I saw Wumi in it, I was like, Lovecraft Country. And I was like, if it's like that, then I'm in. And then I kept reading about it and hearing about it. I was like, yeah, I gotta go see this. And then my middle daughter saw it and said, it's for us. Everybody else can see it, but he made it for Black people. And I was like, I'm in. So that's when I was like, yeah, I got it. And I totally forgot about the horror after that.
Yeah. All right, Derek, you a horror fan?
I'm a horror fan, but I should say that not a lot of horror films or horror really even impresses me. A lot of it is just tropes or it's like over gratuitous horror or blood and guts, and doesn't do anything for me. The only two horror films that really got me was Invasion of the Body Snatchers, like the 78 version, like
right,
Leonard Nimoy and Kiefer Sutherland, right? And the
Donald
thing,
Sutherland.
That's the remake.
Keither, right? His father, Donald Sutherland. And thank you, Fran. And John Carpenter's The Thing.
Okay.
These are really good horror films. Not a lot of big budget, but horror films. And The Exorcist, of course. So when I heard this was, I was like, this is gonna be horror. I said, all right, it's Ryan, so I'm in. And then when I heard it was the South, and then I knew jazz was an element involved, that really piqued my interest, because I just wanted to see how he was going to weave all of these elements into a cohesive story. And then, I guess we'll get to this, but the whole 70 millimeter IMAX, I was like, yeah, I'm definitely.
That was it. All right, Tanya, what about you? Now you are our Elquest queen.
Thank you. I am not really a horror fan, although I have seen a lot of horror movies. I am a vampire fan, though. So I heard about it first that Michael B. Jordan was going to be in this like black vampire movie, like 2 years ago, maybe. I was like, I don't know. Michael B. Jordan, up until this point in this movie, I have had a hard time really taking him seriously. Not that I don't respect everything that he does. I think he's a great actor. It's hard for me to make that mental jump from Wallace and The Wire. I just always see him
you still see him as Wallace.
That innocent boy, there's just that boy there. But this movie, he jumped he is the leading man. He is the best actor in the world now. I don't know what it was about this movie. I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but this sealed it for me. it crossed it over into another like area as far as his ability to really carry a film. But anyway, but yeah, I'm not a horror fan, but I know a lot of horror movies and I do like vampire movies. So
All right. Now, Fran, I know what you're gonna say.
I'm not a horror fan. However, one of my favorite movies is An American Werewolf in London.
It's a good one.
That's an
And the
excellent
reason
movie.
why I love that movie is because it was so funny to me. It was hilariously funny to me.
Mm-hmm.
Those hooligans are out there again, those, But a friend of mine went to see it, and she knows how my horror aversion is. She said, you can go see it. You can go see it. But she also was the same person that tried to get me to look at 12 Years a Slave. That was a horror movie, but not in the. I haven't seen the movie because I can't
do it. Right.
I just can't do it. But she said, you'll be okay. It's not that bad. It's maybe like one or two jump scenes that might scare you a little bit, but you'll be okay. So I said, okay, I'm going to go see it. So I did. And I've seen it 3 times.
You went another time since I talked to you. Okay.
I went last night. I went to my friend's house, the one that passed away, and nobody was there. So I said, okay, I need to feel better. So I went to the movies.
You went to a horror flick. Okay, good for you.
But I
You're coming along.
Huh?
I said, you're coming along.
Yeah. So, yeah, I've seen 2 in IMAX and 1 in standard. So.
Okay, Tamia.
Okay. I'm not a horror fan.
Another no.
I say that with a grain of salt. Like Derek, I'm not a fan of cheesy horror crap that is shoved down our throats as horror. And I'm not a fan of a jump scare. I'm not a fan of a jump scare, but I'm not a fan of a jump scare, a whole movie of jump scares strung together. That doesn't do anything for me except for make me neurotic and anxious. But I am a fan of a really good suspense movie, and I am a vampire fan, and I'm a fan of horror done well. Like reading a lot of Stephen King when I was younger, made you appreciate how characterization is important in a story, and it's not just a trope, so I can deal with it. I'm not going to seek out a horror movie on my own, but I will watch it if I have company. So I can't watch it alone. And this movie, I really didn't know anything about it except for it was the South. I knew it was the time frame. I knew it was blues, and I knew it was vampires. That's all I knew, but like Yvette said, it was Ryan Coogler. So I felt safe in his hands. He could tell me any type of story he wants to tell me ever. Ever. I'm going to go see it,
Right. I can deal with horror. I'm the one that likes them and, the crab monster, all that stuff. So I go way back. I got big brothers, so you had to sit there and watch it, right? I'm not afraid. But I don't like, like the modern stuff like Saw and anything with a girl tied up in the basement. Forget about it. Don't even bring it here. But like you say, all of us said, it was Ryan Coogler. And like Tanya said, I heard about this movie a long time. It'd been coming. We knew he was going to do something called Sinners. I didn't, Then we heard, of course, Michael B. Jordan. That is his muse just about. He's been in 5 movies in a row with Ryan and Michael. So that is just like a twosome. That is a 1-2 punch. So you knew this was going to be there. And then, it said the blues. And I just went, the blues now. Okay. I have seen other movies where they've had this sort of make a deal with the devil about these blues players. So, that was interesting that it was going to be back in that setting. And I said, okay, oh brother, where art thou? If you saw that movie, you were like, oh, all right. Is another man going to sell his soul, or what's going to happen? Oh no, we got vampires. But but Ryan Coogler is someone that I've seen at a film festival, and it was right before he started filming Wakanda.
Fruitvale?
No, it was right before. No, Fruitvale had already hit.
Okay.
He had Creed coming up, I think, and then he was going to have, I think, Black Panther was coming out, and he gave a speech, and we went to see him. But now I just want to touch a little bit about one thing about this movie and why this is important and why we're here and why I want to talk about it is that Ryan Coogler made the deal of a lifetime with this movie. All right.
Yes, he did.
Oh my God, I'm going to tell you the one other brother that had a similar deal like this, and it was so long ago. Now, Derek, you're shaking your head. I want to know which movie you're thinking of, but
well, I know the director. I think I know the director. I don't know the film. It might have been. Well, I think it's Tarantino, Pulp Fiction.
No, I ain't talking about no white people.
Oh,
Wrong show.
No, the brother that got this deal. A brother that got this deal.
I do not.
Let me take you back
Read the
in
room,
time.
bro. Read the room.
I'm gonna take you back in time, and it was Sidney Poitier.
I thought it was.
Poitier.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
And the film was To Serve with Love.
Serve with Love.
Oh.
100 million, right?
Nobody wanted to make this film.
Yeah.
Original story, no IP. Here we go. It's the same deal. He says, if you make the film, I will forego my salary and take a cut of the gross profit. Now,
Oh, wow.
what? And they
That's
said,
dope.
yeah, sure, ain't gonna make no money. Yeah, all right, you want that deal? Take it. Sidney made millions off of this movie. He made millions. It set him up to make all these other films again. So when I was reading Ryan's deal,
And what's
all I
Ryan's
could
deal?
think of-
Like which deal?
I'm gonna give it to you.
Okay,
Ryan's
thank you.
deal. When I read Ryan's deal, I said, so Sidney is looking down from heaven and going, "That away, brother. That's what to do to him. Pull him right over that barrel." So Warner Brothers gave him first dollar gross percentages. Now, first dollar gross means as soon as we laid down our money,
Yep.
Ryan got a cut. It don't
got a
matter what
cut?
happened. He got
First
a cut.
dollar.
And
Wow.
Your ticket, and your ticket, and your ticket, and your ticket. It didn't have no expenses coming out, no bottom of the line, no after everybody else gets paid. First dollar gross money. I was like, oh my brother. I even think Sidney took like it was after the first cut
After
or something.
yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't like first dollar growth, but that's unheard of. He also got permission for a final cut. And you know how many directors get screwed up when somebody else goes into that editing bay and recuts his film. I mean, we've heard it very recently. So he had final cut promised to him. And then the rights come back to him in 25 years.
That
Wow.
Unfreaking heard of.
That's
My
huge.
boy is 38.
He's 38 years old.
He's gonna be
That's brilliant.
63. Sitting there like, oh, here come my retirement check.
Mhm. Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Mwah, 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 mwah.
Yes.
And people went nuts when they heard the deal
course
that
they
Warner
did.
Brothers gave him. But Warner Brothers was like, we need Ryan Coogler. We need what he can write. We don't have anybody writing original. We haven't got any IPs that we don't have any franchise. We don't have
Right.
Marvel. We need Ryan Coogler. So they cut him and gave him what he wanted.
I think they're gonna make out damn well.
Yes.
Because they're gonna be fine, and they knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
I think this was the best thing they could have ever done for themselves.
Well,
I
they knew when
mean-
they gave him the 90 million. But
Yeah,
no,
right.
they get 50% of the distributor, which is Warner Brothers, gets 50%. And then the exhibitors, which are the theaters, they get their cut. But Ryan gets a cut of that 50. I mean, Warner Brothers slicing them off a chunk. So, all right. So I just wanted everyone to know, now that we're hitting the $200 million mark, that so
Wasn't it 250 already?
250 of it? Oh my God. Like
Think
every
so.
time I see it's like another huge number.
Yeah.
Because
now
they expanded it.
Yeah, one of the it's one of the highest grossing original works, R-rated, which means like he's not even getting kiddie money
Right.
in there. So, you can't even take the kids. So, and then I think the only other films that have had this, I think Gravity was the last film to ever do anything like this.
Wow.
Like back in 2013. And the other films that did it were Us and Get Out.
I was about to say yes. Mm-hmm.
So I think you need some
all word of mouth.
I
Yep.
think you need some folks writing for you.
Word of mouth.
Word of mouth, and like, don't underestimate the black dollar, y'all. You keep treating us like we ain't got nothing, but look what we do. Look
And
what
a
we do
great
for you.
story.
Yeah,
And I mean,
Story will
right.
bring everybody out.
Would go
You know,
everybody, because I was just in the,
Right.
every time I've seen it twice now, and it's always been a very mixed audience that I've been with.
Oh, okay.
Everybody's coming to see it. Everybody's interested.
It depends on where you go.
Yes, for sure.
The first time I
Yeah.
saw it was a very mixed audience. And then the 70 millimeter one, it was very young black audience.
Oh, okay.
Who all of them saw it already. They were talking. Everybody
to
was
the
talking through
screen.
the movie.
We were all talking to the screen.
Right.
And then didn't they extend the IMAX?
Yes.
It's gonna come back into the movie. It's gonna come back on the 15th or something of May, because they took the IMAX for this new movie that came out on Friday. So it's gonna be represented on May the 15th or the 18th or something like that. Back in IMAX, 70 millimeter.
It's back in standard this week. So next, like she said, because some other IMAX movie just came out, so they have to have the IMAX theaters for that.
Oh, okay.
So once that run is over, then it's coming back out in IMAX.
But now, Tanya, you saw it in both versions. What did you
Yeah.
what was the comparison of that?
Yeah, I mean, we saw it in IMAX together, and then I saw it just a Saturday in standard, and it's just like some of those really expansive shots when they're in the car driving through the
cotton
fields. It's just sort of blurred out, like you don't really see. Like I felt like when we were watching it the first time, you could see like each plant and like all the cotton on it, like.
It was
saying,
stunning.
Oh my God, look at all that damn
stunning.
Right.
I was like, we had to pick all of that.
Yes, right.
God damn.
Never ended.
And that was just one damn field. Those were little fields.
And he said that he saw like real fields when he was starting to do his research, and it was like a really powerful. It had like such an impact on him when he saw the fields for the first time, and those were real fields for the movie. I think they do their magic, but
yeah, somebody's still growing cotton down there.
I saw it in both formats as well, and because I just saw it in standard just a few minutes ago, and I thought that what was interesting in standard, in IMAX, you get this huge, expansive view. But what it did in standard by cropping a lot of that was it made the portraiture of each shot a little bit more dynamic. So I felt like both of them had their advantages, but I really felt like you got some more acute portraiture in the standard view because so much of the shot was cropped, and it just really zoned you in on that character, and some really beautiful eye candy from that standpoint.
Yeah, because even the regular shot, the non-IMAX shots, he did some special ratios and everything when he was filming that, and the lighting was so great. So yeah, I'm sure it was something.
Well, I saw it. I didn't see it in standard. I saw it in IMAX and 70 millimeter. So I don't know what it looked.
Well, I saw it in IMAX 70 millimeter IMAX.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I thought it just said. So is it IMAX 70 millimeter, or is it just 70 millimeter? Because it didn't say 70 millimeter when we went to see it. I mean, it didn't say IMAX. It only said 70 millimeter.
There's an IMAX. There's an IMAX 70 millimeter, and then there's just a 70 millimeter.
So I saw it in 70 millimeter, and then I saw it in. I don't think it was IMAX. It wasn't IMAX 70 millimeter. It was definitely just IMAX, because the place I went has this huge screen from floor to ceiling. So like there's no stage. It goes from floor to ceiling, and they only play IMAX there.
Okay.
Right. So there was that wasn't the 70 millimeter. I went someplace else. It was just 70 millimeter. So I didn't realize they had like all of these different things going on, but 70 millimeter was beautiful. I mean, I guess since you guys saw it in IMAX 70 millimeter, you saw the coloring of it. It looked like I kept reminding me of the old, like we have a bunch of old pictures of our grandparents' marriage, their wedding picture, and then of my great aunts and their wedding picture. And it's all in that brown,
The sepia.
Sepia.
yes,
sepia
like
tones.
that. That's
Yes.
what it reminded me
Yeah.
of, like,
Mhm.
but because that was their. Well, maybe
Yep.
not. That's what they were children during that time, but
Yeah.
still, it reminded me of that. That's what I came back. I love that. That was my favorite. Excuse me, way of seeing it was the 70 millimeter.
You
Mhm.
know,
It just made me feel like I was. It just made it feel so authentic,
Mhm.
from
you
that.
know, Ryan went to social media like right before it came out and had like this 5-minute piece where
Yes.
he broke down,
Yeah.
each how he shot it and the differences between IMAX 70 and 70 and the type of film stock he uses. And I think what that did is, there's nothing wrong with educating your audience, and I think that's takes part of why it's so sold out in IMAX and IMAX
Agree.
70 millimeter. And the second thing I want to say really quickly is that for an IMAX film or IMAX 70 millimeter film, if you have a film that isn't written well, but let's say it's directed well, then you just have a lot of pretty pictures.
Yes.
But the writing has to be equal to the direction and
Yes.
the cinematography, or else you're just sitting there watching stuff. And even though it's on this huge screen and huge canvas, you get bored.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's the reverse at standard, because with standard you don't have that canvas, so the writing has to carry.
Mhm.
Right.
Right.
And by him having the writing and the directing and the cinematography, it's a home run.
Mhm.
It's a home run.
That's such a good point, because
Yeah.
I was just watching a film last night that everybody's talking about. That's like everybody's like, oh, it's going to be nominated. It's going to, and so I finally watched it last night, and it was gorgeous. But it was boring.
I get a lot of
I mean,
that.
like the story could have been told a lot. I really don't want to say.
Okay.
It could have.
Put it in the chat.
It could have been told. There wasn't that much story there to tell. I mean, but it was all the story was a snapshot of a moment in time, right? And it just. I get what you're saying. Like it couldn't make it on the pretty images alone, which were stunning.
So I want to keep going with this idea because, a lot of people have said, and well, not a lot of people, but I read some reviews where they said like that first act is kind of slow because that's the act where Ryan is building the world and he's giving you the characters. And each one of the characters in this film had a backstory, or they made up a backstory for their own characters. Michael B. Jordan said it, all the other characters, they all said, they made up their backstory. But now Ryan even gave a backstory to the story. And Yvette, can you tell us a little more about that?
Oh yeah, so I found this on Spotify, Center's homepage on Spotify. If you go all the way down to about, and you'll see pictures, and if you just swipe left, swipe left, I think it's swipe left. If it's not swipe left, I guess it's swipe right. You'll see these made up articles that Ryan posts about what the backstory for the movie. Like there's one a grisly discovery in Boston Harbor, and it's haunted. So that gives you a backstory on Rennick. Am I saying Rennick?
Yeah,
and then
Rennick.
there's gang tension rise in Chicago between the Irish mob and the Italian mafia. And then there's this big heist that happens, and they two masked figures go in and steal all the money from the bank. So there's these stories that you can read about and get a little backstory on what happened before that day in was it 1932?
Two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
October 15th, I think.
Right. So Ryan is writing this whole, he's got all these outside influences and things that really happened. The research that they did to get this as authentic as they could was unbelievable. And he has some major themes that he is laying down in that first act. And, one of the themes is that search for freedom. The twins were coming back to get away from all of this stuff that they had, just to have their one place where they could just go and just have their juke joint, just leave me alone. And then the whole love story or to the blues and the origins of it. And we saw some incredible scenes of that. And then, of course, love and sacrifice. So for those of us that know how to lay a story down, I mean, Derek, I'm sure you were like, the first act was not slow for me. I don't think it was slow for any of us. What did you think?
No, I thought it was it was slow in the sense of it's a slow burn. He's taking his time. He's unfolding this world, this universe, and he's introducing these characters step by step. And he introduced these characters so effortlessly, so organically, right? Just easy, and I'm sitting there and I'm watching, I'm like, oh man. And I realize, as a writer, as we are, I realize he's doing this because the more comfortable the audience feels with these characters, down the line, when they're in jeopardy, it becomes, in some ways, a personal thing. You don't want to see these people that you've now invested in die or whatever's going to happen. So I'm like, oh man, he's really setting this up. And I remember, like, early in the film, you meet Smoke and Stack, and then you meet how can I not remember the kid that plays the blues?
Sammy.
Right, Sammy. Right,
Preacher Boy.
Right, Preacher Boy.
Sammy.
And they go to the car, and there's the snake, and I'm like, oh man, it's foreshadowing. It's so much foreshadowing in this film, And I think it was Stack that's like, we'll take care of you. Don't touch that. We got you. And I'm like, oh man, if that's not foreshadowing, I don't know what is.
Right. So one of the other themes in this, of course, is the blues. And Ryan said he wanted to make this film as a gift to, I think, his father, who was a big blues fan.
Uncle.
I think it was
His
his
uncle.
Father and his uncle.
His uncle.
Yeah. And surprisingly enough, Ludwig Göransson, his father is a guitar instructor and also was a blues fanatic. So the two of them went to USC together, and they were together from back in the day. So was the producer of this film. They all went to school together. So now here's Ludwig and Ryan doing this film. They both love the blues. They've got men in their family that love the blues, and they're going to make this film about the blues. And I just loved the story that we got in the press release that they went on a Motor City tour to go to like Memphis and all these recording places where they had sung these songs and these studios, and they were listening to all this stuff. I said, oh my God, they went to BB King. Now, I'm a BB King fan, but they went to all these places and just sat there and steeped themselves in the blues. And one of my favorite scenes in this film is the scene in the car where Slim is telling the story about how they got all the money. And you're hearing, I don't know, you guys that have seen it multiple times, he's telling the story and you're not hearing music. You're hearing the sound effects of what he's telling you. You're hearing the clatter of the plates. You're hearing the white people talking. You're hearing all this stuff going on. And then you're hearing the screams and you're hearing, I was like, and then when he broke into the blues, when he was talking about how his boy got tortured and then he just started singing the blues in the car, I mean, tears welled up in my eyes. I was like, that's the freaking scene right there.
That's the blues.
That's the blues. That was one of my favorite scenes of the whole movie. First of all, the sound design in this film is brilliant.
Yes.
It is so amazing and so novel. Like, and it seems like such obvious ideas. Why hasn't anybody done this before? I don't think we'll be seeing movies made the same way when it comes to sound design again. I think they're all going to be trying to copy what happened here in this film because it was so immersive, so evocative, right? It really, like they said, like sometimes like poetry is like speaking the language of the soul, and it doesn't always make logical sense, but your heart understands what it means. And that's kind of what the sound was doing in this movie. That's the way it was communicating in my mind. It was touching right into the soul of the the scene each time they employed it. And then that moment where he starts singing the blues, he doesn't start singing the blues. Let me stop saying that, because that's not what happened. What happened was the blues came out of his soul. What happened was that there was this moment of touching this pain. It was so painful, the memory of what happened. You just had to rock with it, You just, and all you could say is,
That's right. Yes.
Speaking of that, guess who I had the privilege to see in concert together? B.B. King with special guest Buddy Guy.
Wow. Nice. Oh, wow. Okay.
It's been about maybe 15 years ago. I saw them in concert.
I got to see Buddy Guy in New Orleans before playing New Orleans.
I've seen B.B. King. Yeah, I've seen B.B. King.
I would talk about Buddy Guy later, because we got stuff to say.
I think Ryan is a phenomenal director. I think that's obvious. But I think he's a much, much, much better storyteller.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think because he's a better storyteller than he is filmmaker, aspects of storytelling are bleeding into what he's doing in ways that are non-conventional.
All right, Derek, lay that down.
Well, film is my first love, so just like you, right? So
okay, I'm going to talk about one of the other themes, which was I put down as love and sacrifice, and Wumi, who played Annie, she said when she got that script, and I'm going to go to my other okay, for anybody trying to the scene where Smoke comes back and sees Annie for the first time after 7 years. He's been gone for 7 years, and he stops and he says to the baby's grave, Daddy's back or whatever, and then
Papa's home. Papa's here,
and he goes in to see Annie, and Wumi said she didn't know how Ryan Coogler got the acceptance of her, accepting his grief, of welcoming him home, of getting over whatever she was going through, that he had been gone so long. That here are two people that lost their child, and now and then he disappears and he comes back, and she said this scene was done in 7 pages of dialogue.
Wow!
I was like, just okay. I don't even know how. She said she could not believe it when she read the scene, that it packed so much. And he purposely did the thing where she asked Smoke, "Why have you come back? Why have you come back, Smoke?" And then she was to repeat the line in the dialogue. And Ryan told her to change it to just say, "Elijah, why have you come back?" And the whole scene flipped. You never say no more.
And then at the end, I'm skipping ahead, but she says, put that cigarette out. I don't want smoke to get all over her. Like you can hold her. So it's like he has to put that all away and can be Elijah with her. He doesn't have to be this tough gangster.
Right.
Put that smoke away. I was so like,
good.
Oh.
Put that cigarette down.
Yep.
So I just the economy of words, and just changing one word.
Yep.
Just changed the whole feeling of that. So I love that whole theme of love and sacrifice. And so I'm gonna stay with that, and I'm gonna stay with the women. We have Annie, Mary, and Perlina.
Perline.
I'm sorry, Perline. I wrote it wrong in my notes. Such a Southern name, Perline.
I love that name.
Perline.
I've known a Pearl from the South, but not a Pearl.
And I've known Perlines. And I've known
really?
But I don't know Perlines. And I loved it. And I wish I did.
What do we have to say about the 3 very different women, but all completely Southern, and we recognized them as soon as we saw them?
Well, for me, the fact, and this has been talked about, the fact that you had these 3 leading ladies, and 2 of them were dark skinned. I mean, dark skinned, not and one was really voluptuous. One had a nice ass. Okay, so that's personal for me. But and then she was, being all coy and everything. It was just, I'm like, oh my gosh, look at this woman with the boobs, and just look, she was dark, and then you got Mary, who kicked the black came out of her because she said, "You don't get the fuck out of my face."
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was a sister talking there. You don't get the, out of my face. What are you talking about? I said, okay, yeah, this one going down. I love them. All three of them were so different, and I just love seeing myself up on the screen, being sexy, and smart, and as they say, listen to black women, y'all. Listen to black women. We know what we're talking about, especially in this day and age. But go ahead.
But humanity comes from black women.
Yes, exactly.
Right? There's so much you can look at for this film, but humanity comes from black women, and women of different shades and sizes. And for generations, Hollywood has told us that an action hero has to look a certain way. A female action hero has to look a certain way, be a certain weight, be this, be that. And that's just not the case. There's a difference between entertaining and having fiction, or having truth in fiction. And Ryan puts truth into fiction, that women are powerful and black women are powerful. And we see that. And it's not made to be like over the top. It just is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Annie was like that. Annie was my absolute hero in this one.
I love me some Annie. Ooh. Annie was my jam.
Right.
Perline was I know, right? Perline was that embodiment of the sultriness and the sexuality and owning that power, that I just loved, and Mary, like, she was a trip, but I've known a lot of Marys in my life. Like, I've known a lot of these women who could pass. You don't know that they're black at all until you start hearing them talk to other black folks, and you're like, oh shit. They start talking about how they know how to cook some greens and stuff. You know what I mean? Like, it's like you don't know. And that half that world that they live in, I thought she was really interesting. And of course, I thought it was very interesting, and no mistake that she was the one to bring the evil in, which I thought that was a really loud statement, not the one that I'm passing judgment on one way or the other, but I thought,
but that's what happened.
That is exactly what she did.
But she was putting people in danger just by being there.
That's her proximity. Her white proximity brought them all kinds of danger. She put all of them in danger.
She was just married, and she was like, shouldn't even have been there.
Married to a white man.
Married to a white man. So she wasn't just endangering herself, but just from like the
she was intentional.
She looks like a white woman cavorting with black people, so that all those black people are
gonna get them all killed.
Being near her, even though she grew up in that town. But if it was a
Stack was afraid. Stack was afraid as soon as he saw her. He was like, "Oh,
exactly." No. I mean, it looks ominous, right? Like when Sammy sees her in the train station.
Yes,
everybody tells him, "Don't look at her."
Looking at you.
He said, "Do not
look at her." It reminded me of.
You sure she white?
It was an Emmett Till. It was an Emmett Till moment. The minute he said that, and there's so much in this movie that has so much. It's for us. There's so much history in this movie. And when he told Sammy, "Do not look at her," my skin. I mean, I had the goosies. I was like, because that's just what happened to Emmett Till, and this movie has a lot to do with Emmett Till because, Emmett Till came from Chicago and went down to Mississippi, and that's where he got murdered. People say he got killed. He was murdered. So then when he said that, I was like, oh man, I definitely made the right decision with this movie. And it
Mm-hmm.
just, there's all these little Easter eggs just put in here just so you know you are watching a Black film. Don't
And
get it
even-
twisted. It's not just a horror film. You know,
Right.
They
Even that-
want you to know that.
Did you catch the
Whiteness of-
code switching when he's
Oh yeah.
when he's talking to everybody else, but when he starts talking to her, he's like, "Ma'am," and he's very cordial and very
Yep.
respectful.
He's
And
acting like he don't know her.
right. It was like, I was like, wow, yeah, it was
Yeah.
a lot of stuff.
And
Yeah.
that same whiteness that protected Mary, in that and Stack said it. I'm trying to protect you. I got you married to this guy.
This white man in
I got
Arkansas.
you married to this white. I'm trying to protect you. She thought that whiteness was going to protect her when she went out there to talk to those vampires.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
She said, "Oh,
and
let
she
me
used it.
go." Yeah.
She used it. Yeah.
I said, little white bunny, you better get your ass back in the jute joint. But no, she thought she was like, oh, they're not going to do anything to me.
Because
Right. Because I'm like them.
Right.
of the way I look.
Right. So it was
Big mistake.
amazing. It was amazing. That little scene with Mary, I was like, oh, here we go. She gonna let them, right? Oh.
And you knew it. You knew it. Like you hated to know it, It wasn't like, but you knew it from the time she saw him on the train platform, like shit,
Yes.
white she-devil.
Yep.
Right.
The minute. The
one.
minute we saw her, I was like, oh,
Ah.
shit.
Yep.
The one.
Crazy. Yeah, crazy.
I'm saying,
that's
like, if
true.
you don't
It's-
know who White She-Devil is,
Yeah,
go watch
I mean,
Undercover Brother, y'all. I'm not making up names for
she
those
is-
people
she's
out there.
there
who
for a
like
reason.
Yeah, that's why she's
Yeah.
there looking the way she looks.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
But
I like the
Perlene-
fact. Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. No, I said the wrong thing anyway. Go ahead.
I like the fact that Annie, usually a woman of that size is the mammy or the joke or
auntie,
the
whatever.
something, but not
Right.
sexually attractive. And the
Exactly.
fact
In the
that
movies. In the
in-
movies.
in the white
Yeah,
movies,
right.
That's,
in
what,
other
that's what
movies.
we're talking
No,
about.
in all
yeah.
the movies, but
Yeah.
not in real life.
Oh,
Right.
well,
Definitely not in
as
real
somebody
life.
said, anybody from the South know that a woman that looks like that could take your man in a minute.
That's right. That's right.
And she can cook. Come on now.
Come on now.
If
And
you're from
she's
the
a roots,
South,
and she's a roots
She's a
woman.
roots woman? Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
forget it. But I love the fact that she was, so beloved by him.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And,
Like
he was-
truly
Respectful
loved.
love,
Yes.
a reverence of love.
Ooh.
Yes.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. And the minute she spoke, everyone listened to her.
Yeah.
Oh, everybody. I mean, I remember she said, what'd she tell him? Oh,
You
she's
can't
like, don't
walk
be
your-
talking to me. She's like, I'm talking to you right now.
Right. I'm talking to him. I'm
talking to him. I'm talking to you right now. Like, I was like, yes.
You notice everybody else was quiet too. Didn't nobody say nothing. Neither one of the twins, none of them said, no.
Annie was my favorite.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
Yeah,
was,
I mean-
I was like, when I grow up, can I be like Annie?
All right, I'm going to stay with Act One a little bit longer because we're going to come back to Annie and how wonderful she was and the whole, smoking Annie thing because that's like my heart in this movie. But I want to talk a little bit about the Asian family
Yes.
that we see at the very beginning. Another thing that was, authentic and for real.
Yes.
And I love the way Ryan Coogler, and I will credit, it was another podcast that I listened to, and I'm so sorry I didn't write down the name of the gentleman who made this observation. So this is not my original observation. I just want to be clear and say that full transparency. But I was like, dang, dude, you're right. The fact when we see them, we see Bo Chow and we see his wife,
Grace.
Grace.
Mm-hmm.
And Bo works on one side of the street that caters to the blacks.
Mm-hmm.
And Grace works on the other side of the street that caters to the whites.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And Bo, as soon as, Smoke comes in there, it was Smoke, I think, that came in to make the deal.
It was smoke.
Yeah. Smoke comes in there to make the deal and, yada, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And, Bo was on it. Bo Chow was like, yeah, what you need, brother? I'm going to do it. Yeah. He didn't need to know why. He says, oh, you're back. And he was just happy he was going to do it. He's the one working on the black side of the store. Now, of course, they have his daughter working there with him because he's like, no, I ain't putting my little daughter over there on the white side of the store. They're going to mess with her all day. She's going to stay right here with me. And then on the other side, when he says, go get your mother, the mother is working on the white side of the street. Telling the exact same stuff. And she's more transactional. So when the deal goes to her, she wants to know if you got the money, da-da-da-da. So Ryan is kind of saying to us, we have Asian allies that are like with us all the time, like Bo. And then we have those Asian people that are there for the transactions, and they're going to be with us while everything is good. Because as soon as the shit hit the fan, Grace was out.
I don't know. I think
No, I don't agree
harsh
with
with
that.
Grace.
I don't
Grace
agree
was
with
out.
that. Grace was
She was
not
scared.
out. Grace was freaking out. She wasn't
Bo
out.
was
She
already
stayed,
out.
and she had a daughter. I'm not with that. I
not
don't
with
think
that
that
at
that's
all.
fair. First of all, Grace, he goes to Grace because Grace is the deal maker in that family, not the man.
As in
he's the
as
boss.
in most Chinese families,
Right.
the
Okay.
woman
is
the woman is the deal maker. Now
Right.
the man has the money and all, but she is the deal maker. The deal goes to her.
And then nobody else's child was threatened.
Right.
Their child, her child, they threatened her child. You
By
expect,
name.
I would have liked to have seen any other character keep their shit together when they know that their child is out there alone and helpless, and now her father is one of them too.
Yep.
That is a lot. I don't think that's fair criticism on her character at all. And she didn't split. She was trying to bring the fight. She said, "Fuck it, I'm trying to fight and kill these
no,
women." So she wasn't. She wasn't
God,
That was
damn.
nuts.
She
right?
didn't run away. She didn't run away. She brought the fight. Now I was like, crazy
was
girl,
done.
you need to cool it, but she was like, "Come on in, motherfuckers, I got you."
I missed that.
That's what I'm saying.
get-
Between
but I-
Mary and Grace, they're the ones that let it all in.
But that's what but think about what Tamia said. She's just watched her husband. She didn't know what happened to him. She's finding out all this stuff.
Yeah.
She knows he's out there. Then he comes back and now she knows. And then the head vampire talks about, starts talking to her in Mandarin.
Right.
And
Right.
telling her all this intimate stuff. Like
Right.
the only people in the South that speak Chinese is Chinese people.
Right.
Right. Chinese people in the South, especially at that time, they did not act Chinese unless they were together. Right. Everything was Southern. They wore Southern clothes. They talked Southern. They did not do anything Chinese in front of people. So when he did that to her, she was like, that was like, okay. And then she's like Tamia
He was
said,
shook.
her daughter's name came out of his mouth.
Came out of
He said he was going to go back.
I don't know how
Came out of evil's mouth.
Yeah. Yeah. I would have freaked the hell out. I wouldn't have
you.
cared about nobody in there. And I don't care. I would have been a black person. They going, fuck all of y'all. I'm out.
Right.
I'm going to get my baby. We fight. I'm going to fight my way through all of this because I got to go get my kids, But I get it. I get what he's trying to say in the beginning when he was saying, they're on one side of the street. And because that's what they did. I think they mentioned this, the lady who plays Grace, there's a documentary on Chinese in the Mississippi Delta from the 1930s by a filmmaker called Dolly Lai. I think it's Lee, but Lai, L-L-I, I think it's Lee. And the lady there's one lady in the documentary that says that Chinese people knew, they all stayed on their lanes and everybody was fine together until someone crossed over. So, and just like with, they're all walking this line in the Jim Crow South,
That's
you
right.
know, they weren't allowed in the schools either. They had segregated schools. So I don't know if I think I know who you talk that podcast. I think I heard a lot of people say this, and I believe that was the intent in the beginning to show you that Chinese people were there and
Exactly.
this is how they did it. But I think in the end, if Evil wouldn't have said her daughter's name,
She
I could
would've
have went
stung.
with y'all with this, but I don't know, not one mother who is not gonna go crazy.
Tanya saying, yeah.
Exactly. I mean, everybody that was left inside, they all had each other. She was the only one alone. She lost her husband and
was out there,
her daughter
right.
is out there under threat.
Right.
And she was freaking out from the moment Stack died. She was like,
She was the
We
one who
gotta go.
knew. Right.
Yep,
She's
she
like,
knew. Yep.
She knew. Like, get the hell out.
But she,
Mhm.
yeah, but she went out like a G. I mean, she had that, like, she was on fire and she was getting that stage.
Grace went down
She
hard.
was not
Right.
letting go.
Was
Yes,
she? Was
she
that?
did.
Was that Bo that she had?
Yes, it was. They
It
burned
was
up
him,
together.
right? That's
Yeah.
what I thought.
Yeah.
I was like, damn. She
Yeah,
went
that
down.
was dumb.
Well, she didn't. So just like with us, she didn't want him to die without being with the ancestors because ancestors are huge with Chinese people.
Absolutely.
I mean, we still go to every time there's somebody's birthday, we're at the cemetery and we bring food and we bring some liquor,
Talking to him, you tell him what's happening.
yeah. So I, there's when Annie said, you got to kill them so that they won't
their
be here
souls can
alone
rest,
dealing
yeah.
with this stuff over and over again.
They would
and
never
could
be able
with
to
it.
go back to the
back-
ancestors if
Never
they
go back to the
if they
ancestors.
became vampires.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a really poignant
Yeah.
moment for me too, because all the traditions that you have, the African cultures, the Chinese culture, and that Choctaw.
Choctaw.
And the Choctaw,
That's
too,
next.
and ancestry and ancestors are vital in all of these cultures that we're talking about, and to be free, to let them be free. That was so powerful when she said that. It really resonated with me quite a bit.
Yeah. That all of that brought me just the talk of freedom just brought me to tears more than once. Just because,
Right.
we're always searching for that. And it's like it's like we're always trying to grab that one little piece of freedom. And even when you think you've made it, you still, when the word freedom comes up and you're like, fuck.
You
Right.
know, just leave me alone. That's all I want you to do.
I just want to be a
mean,
human being
free.
on this earth like everybody else.
Everybody else.
Right? Like
Why
everybody
is that so
else.
hard?
Right?
Now, even though the Choctaws weren't in the film for a very long time, they had, again, a consultant, Jay Wesley, who actually plays one of the Indians. And he said that this was the first time he actually got to wear his traditional beaded sash that was worn by the warriors of the Mississippi Choctaw.
Oh,
And
wow.
he said, usually when he's in a movie, they just give him some costume to wear. And he said, it's always like the wrong tribe and nothing's right. He said he so appreciated Ryan and Ruth Carter, who did the film's costume, that they gave him, really. So when we saw those Indians come in to ask them, like, have you seen anybody? They were looking authentic for real. That was the shit. I was like, ooh, what's going on now?
So I just want to, this is just a side. Every time I think about them, there's a meme and it's the meme of the Choctaw leader coming to the clan house, and you see him looking, and the meme says, if I send this to you, it means I tried. Every time I see this movie.
That's brilliant.
Oh my
That's
goodness.
brilliant. Because they did. They were like,
They really did.
we trying. Oh, it's dark. Gotta go.
Gotta go. Yeah, they did not wait. They were out.
They were out.
They were out. They were gone.
So I have this, I don't know if you guys know this, but the Choctaw and the Irish have this thing, right? So when the Irish were going through the potato famine, the Choctaw gave them, sent the most money, I guess
They raised a lot of money.
Oklahoma raised a lot of money, but the most money came from the Choctaw people. And they sent it to the people in Ireland to help with the famine.
Because they saw a kinship and a connection with them as being people whose land was invaded.
Yeah.
And they were forced to speak another language and, live under these invaders from now. And they saw a kinship with them. I thought that was a beautiful story. And
Yep.
And now
then
there's a relationship.
And then Ireland reciprocated.
Between that city and Ireland, yep.
Yeah, that city in Ireland. I forgot the name of it. But they reciprocated in 2020 during COVID and sent them money and supplies to help.
That wild?
Isn't that crazy? That's wild, right? Yeah.
Paying it forward that many years later.
They've had a relationship all that time.
Okay,
During all that time,
But still, okay, you're all in trouble now. Let me send you something.
Yes,
Wow.
yes.
Wow,
Yep.
wow. Okay, so I just wanted to ask everybody, I'm just going to go around. So one of the things, like I said, Ryan has done so much research and is so authentic. Well, what was one thing that you learned watching this film that you never knew before?
That Chinese people were in the Delta.
Really? That
I
was,
didn't know that.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I had no clue. There wasn't a lot of them, so I don't think a lot of people would have known. But yeah, that really surprised me.
What surprised me was that there was plantation money. That freaked me out.
Well, you
Yeah.
know,
I did know that. Yeah.
I did know
didn't
that,
know
but I
that.
forgot about it
Yeah.
until it was we saw it in the film. It's like, oh yeah, and wooden nickels.
Wouldn't
Like a
Wooden
wooden nickel
nickels,
was
yeah.
actually a wooden nickel and part of
Yes.
plantation money. Like that's where like don't
That's
take no
where it
wood,
comes
don't
from.
take no wooden nickels. Yeah,
Yeah.
I grew up
did
hearing that
not even-
expression.
Yes.
Never
me
knew
too.
what it meant.
Yep.
Yep.
Plantation.
Because I kept saying, why these old people keep telling me don't take no wooden nickels? What the fuck? Who has a wooden nickel ever? It's not called it's called a nickel because it was made out of nickel. I never got
all
it. Never
all our
understood
folks
it.
had wooden nickels.
Right.
all
We all
did.
had wooden nickels. Yeah. I think for me it wasn't I did learn about the dog tags, about the round dog tags from World War One. I remember when me, you, and Tanya, after we went to see it, and we were like, was that dog tags around his neck? And yes, it was. And then
Yeah.
at the end, when I saw it again today, I realized he had his brother's dog tags at the end too. But I think it wasn't so much a thing that I learned as having the world brought to life and having history brought to life in a way that I could really, like Annie's house, like the Roots woman's house, right? Her shack, her cottage. Like that was a beautiful thing to see.
You said cottage.
Cottage.
That was a shack.
It was a shack. It was a
It was
shack.
pretty good for Jim Crow in 1932.
I mean, it really was. Like, I mean, she had all the walls and she didn't have a lot of gaps between the wood planks and shit. And she had a wood floor. I don't think she had a dirt floor. So, but it's to see that brought to life, to see the church and to feel the percussiveness of people's heels on the wood as they were dancing or in church.
That was a scene.
Those, I mean, that was throughout the movie. Those things, like the world being alive in a way that made history real, outside of these sepia photographs and these old documents, or Henry Louis Gates talking about somebody's past,
Right.
I think for me, I knew all the things we're talking about, but I think it's authenticity, and as a writer, you're kind of like taught, write what you know or write the truth, but that's not what happens, right? We don't usually write truth, and Hollywood doesn't certainly write truth. What they do is they write a perception, right?
Yeah.
Where Friends, there's no the show Friends, there's no like black people in New York,
Right.
ever, or like two, or there are certain perceptions or things that are just not spoken about or written about. And what I loved about this film is that the authenticity and the reality of what happened is brought to a level where it's presented to people and it's done in an entertaining way. And it's like, yeah, this is what happened. There was blatant racism. There were mixed. There were people that were mixed. There was all these groups trying to figure it out together, and there was these things happening. And we're gonna throw in some vampires, but there was all these things happening, and there's nothing wrong with There's nothing wrong with saying all this. We're not going to shy away from all this. We're not going to kind of make believe that the America was just built or run by one group of people. It's just not reality. It's just not reality. And I think that what Ryan is saying is that there is a diverse group of people that have always been here, and here are their stories. There's nothing wrong with telling their stories.
Right. So we've gone through Act 2, where we have, everything goes wrong and it's fights and the vampires are here and cocktails are being thrown and they've been invited in and everything's horrible. And so now we get to the end, where we have the scene of Grace killing her own husband, making sure he dies truly. And of course, Smoke taking Annie out, which was got to be one of the most heart-wrenching scenes, but an act of love.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Surely.
Yeah.
Surely.
You say I got somebody waiting on me.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean,
She asked him to.
asked him to.
Yeah.
Don't you let
Begged
me.
him.
Don't you let me get taken by no vampires, because she
I
knew
think
she would
she
be.
knew, right?
knew her
She knew
power.
it was going to happen because she kept like reading the bones and the
Yeah.
Mhm.
trying again, and it was always the same. Like,
Right.
She knew they weren't going to make it out of there.
Yeah.
well, that
Mhm.
he like she wasn't, but
Right.
Yeah.
she
Yeah.
had him protected. That her mojo bag was working.
That I
Yes.
need that mojo bag right there.
For
Yes.
Where can I get one of those?
Right. That was the real deal.
Tamia, we
right
know
there.
where we can get one, right?
That was the real
we
deal.
got mojo bags. We got
Yeah,
mojo.
when she said to him when he first came that, you come back with 2 arms, 2 legs, and a brain that works, that is real talk. Like
Right.
Whoa.
It is.
coming
And how
back
you
from
know-
World War One, where I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Which
And
was-
she
was
said,
a
how you know
horrific
I
war.
haven't
That
been
was a
protecting
horrific,
you and your
horrific
brother
war. Yeah.
every
The
day.
trenches of that was just terrible. So,
Yeah.
People came back maimed in all kinds of horribly new ways after that
Mhm.
war, and
That's right.
for them to come back together, and it was interesting because I just was reading again in the press release that twins have a special meaning in Yoruba, and even in Ryan's family, his aunts are identical twins.
Oh wow.
And he said he had friends that were identical twins, and I would love to read the backstory because, Smoke and Stack, they had been together. They made it through the war together.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I found that really amazing. My father went to war with his brother, and they were completely separated. My father was in North Africa. His brother was in the European theater, and actually was one of the people that cleaned up the D-Day beach. Those were black.
Wow.
Those were black soldiers that had to clean up that beach.
Oh,
wow.
And he
didn't know
said,
that.
Uncle
Well, who
James,
else was gonna do it?
yeah, had to
Who
go
else
there and
was they
pick up all
sending
those
y'all?
body parts.
Come on.
Right. He said his brother was never the same after that
I believe
cleanup.
it. Jesus.
Yep. So so I thought it was really amazing that they made it through the war together. They made it through the mafia thing together. They came back home together. They never were separated in those 7 missing years that he had left Annie, that they were gone. They came back together. And so, when his brother dies, I completely understood he was not giving that body up.
Mm-hmm.
He was
Yeah.
just going to hold on to him. I was like, he's like halved. He doesn't know.
Mm-hmm.
Best part of him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, that Stack. He goes, no. And everybody was telling him, get rid of that body. But he was like,
Put it outside.
put it outside.
That's what I was saying too. But it's like,
I think they were just so lucky that, I mean, I think it speaks to even at that time, like so that maybe, my headcanon was that Stack still had a little bit of control over himself at that moment when he just ran out that door instead of killing everybody right then.
I think he had a little bit of himself till the end.
yeah.
Yeah.
If I think about the end when he made that deal with Smoke,
Right.
I mean, he made a
Exactly.
deal with him.
Yeah.
So if he was there, and I think if you think about that character, he was always a little more evil than Smoke. He was more of his father because his father was this evil man. Remember,
Right.
that's
beat
where
him.
they actually got that guitar from.
Right.
So I don't know. That's my headcanon, that I believe Stack was always kind of on the evil side. He was more of his father, and that's how he was able to really be in control of himself. Because those two are the only ones that made it. There's only 2 people that made it in the end, because everybody else was burned up by the sun. So
I saw Stack as more like the lighter one. Like he didn't
Stack.
the scene.
I meant Stack. Did I say Smoke?
Yeah.
said-
No, you said Stack.
Stack.
I did say
said
yeah,
Stack.
Stack.
Like
Well,
he
Smoke
was,
is the one
he
that
had a
shot the guy in the
likeness.
knee.
Yeah, like I thought
And
Smoke
then
was the head.
Smoke was like he was the one bearing most of the burden. That's why his hands shake. Like he's the one that was quick to like pull out his gun. He's
Right.
the one that killed the snake. Like he was always watching Stack's back. Because I mean, I have twins, they're not identical, but there is like a dominant twin, and then there's like this more passive twin, and they're happy to let the other one like do all the stuff, like be the leader, and like, oh, you're thirsty, I'm gonna get something to drink. And then the other one is like, oh, can you get me something to drink? Like they're never like that proactive one. So I think that once, Stack was turned and he could be with Annie and Mary, they could be together.
Yeah.
I think he was okay with it. Once like Remick was dead and wasn't kind of controlling their whole vibe, like he was free again. Like that's where he got his freedom. Do the things that he wanted to do and have all that power.
He had another chance with Mary.
Smoke didn't kill him.
That's right.
Yeah,
we couldn't kill him.
They made that deal for
Sam.
Sam.
Yeah, for Sam. Yeah.
I mean, the whole movie was about Sammy. From beginning to end. I mean, I love the way they did it because Sammy was the theme, but all this other stuff was going on. The lives of these people were going on. I love that. I don't know who said it, but we finally got to see, we know these sharecroppers. Like we hear sharecroppers, we know them. But do we know them? We know their labor. Do we know them? This movie gave us.
Do we even know their labor?
Right.
It wasn't clear until we saw it in IMAX.
Then when Delta Slim told him, introduce yourself and say where you from, he said he was from such and such plantation.
Yep. It's just like the different neighborhoods. I mean, those were the different neighborhoods. Sunflower plantation. It was like just like the neighborhood. Can we talk about? I'm sorry, Sabrina, but I really want to talk about. Ask about the scene where Sammy's playing and we have
thank you.
the ancestors. I mean, because
I was like, wait, what? We got to go back.
That's the whole scene of the whole. Like, because we already skipped to the end, but we missed the scene.
The scene.
The scene.
That is the scene.
Take it away.
The crux of the film.
The crux of the film, that some people like can play the music. The music is so powerful that they can call on the ancestors of the past and the future. The spirits of the past and the future. I thought, oh my God, I get every time. So I've seen the scene twice, right? And I still, and the first time in the IMAX, the 70 millimeter, this huge, I felt like I was immersed in the scene, and I felt like those spirits were dancing with me. And, and even then in seeing it in standard, I felt very much that way. And every time I saw that, it reminds me of my Uncle Mickey, who was served as the chief of our tribe for many years. He was really my cousin, but I call him my uncle, Wayne Brown. And he, Uncle Mickey, like I remember when I was little and he was talking to me about when he first started going to the powwow and taking it serious, like our heritage, because my tribe had been really assimilated into white culture in North Carolina. And my Uncle Mickey was the one who recovered our language for us and started researching our traditions and brought back the powwows and instituted the tribal council again, etc. And so when they had the first powwow and he started dancing and he joined the dance, and he told me about how he looked up and he could see our ancestors dancing with him around that fire at night. And I will never forget this story. And I remember we were in my grandmother's house and it was just the two of us up late that night talking in her kitchen. And he was telling me the story. And then, like, was it one of the light bulbs like blew in the kitchen because Uncle Mickey was channeling them. And he used to tell me stories all the time. It was really powerful. So when I saw that that scene, I felt in a personal way really moved, because I've had some experiences like that, similar to that myself. But the way that Ryan Coogler visualized that for us, because it was more than a visual thing. Again, it was the sound design was off the chain, the choreography with the different dancers and the
the shots,
the angles, everything was an immersive experience that helped you touch your soul and feel like we were touching ancestors. I think that scene in that movie is a spiritual experience.
Yeah.
And that is that's what elevates this movie for me as something that what really makes it a phenomenon is something that we are all being healed in that moment as we watch it, and empowered, to go forward. I just feel like this movie will forever be, it's more than a movie.
Yeah.
Sammy
Sammy was
that.
singing.
And
Sammy's voice.
let's not forget the roof. The roof. Yeah.
Right?
We don't need no
water. Let the motherfucker burn.
Hey,
I've never seen
you didn't put the roof in there.
I've never seen a scene that facilitated connection so powerfully. And not just, me personally, but I remember, like, you're sitting there with strangers, right? You're sitting next to strangers in the theater. And there were times when I will stop and film, and I haven't done this a long time, but you stop and you look at other people and you can see the connection in that scene was being made. It didn't make a difference who was sitting next to you. There was something about them and their history and their past. They were making that connection, and it was this energy. And I was like, yo, and so
I love, because you know what? I don't worship my ancestors, but I totally revere them. There's a difference. I revere them. I speak with them, all that stuff. So I'm like, oh man, this guy is, oh my gosh, Ryan. So I've seen it 3 times, y'all. So that tells you something there, right?
And it's powerful every time, I bet.
Yeah. Oh, very much so. Very much. Because when I saw the milk and the baby thing, and that's part of the Yoruba religion, where you put the libations and the food and stuff. The ancestors. Yeah.
I feel like, people scoff at the word magic, right? Because there is this sense of this word that has come down from Western tradition, and a Judeo-Christian background that has made it into a nasty word, right? But that also has depleted it of all true meaning of what the word is. And what magic is sitting in that theater and having that communal experience with all that is magic. And Ryan Coogler did that. And all these other people who participated in it just worked a spell. They worked a huge spell. So if you don't understand the concept of magic, this is it. Take it out of the Judeo-Christian things that we've been taught, like, oh, magic is bad or you consort with the devil. No, it is a working of energies with people, a conscious direction of energy to a purpose, right? To use the energies of the universe to create this. And that's what happened.
Wow.
Did that. That is right.
We used to sit around campfires, thousands of years ago, and somebody would tell a story, and it's not the theater experience is not much different. And one thing I found interesting about this film is that I think we're all of a certain age where we've seen films where you go to a film, and back in the day people would applaud, but that doesn't happen anymore.
Doesn't happen as much. It did in this film.
It did
in this film.
5 times.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
5 times people were applauding, and I was like, what is happening? Because that was just gone in film. That's just gone in the theater experience. 5 times people applauded in this film, and I'm like, wow, it's reaching people, it's touching people, it's connecting. So yeah, you're right. It's magic.
I think everybody's getting something from it that is theirs. I don't think it reaches everybody the same way.
Yeah.
And I think it hits people in different stages. It's just, and that's why people keep going to see it again.
Yeah.
There's so much you miss, and there's, because and then you go with different people and you have a different experience, but it hits everybody differently. The people I went with, it hit them, and there are people in my family, hit them totally different than it hit me.
Oh man. So I think what I really liked about this movie too is that it just gave you a full circle ending too. Even though it was in some ways it was a very tragic ending, it was also a triumphant ending. That
Absolutely.
they saved the whole town from that clan. Even though, and Smoke got to go back with his family. And even Stack and Mary got to be together, even though
got to kill some Klansmen.
Yep.
Oh, listen, I'm telling
Ain't
you,
nothing wrong with that.
The grenade in the truck was like my favorite part.
And Sammy got to go ahead and have his career that he followed.
Right.
He knew that.
It's for Pearline.
Right.
Pearline.
Yeah.
I liked my favorite part about the ending was the fact that, one of my favorite parts, I loved the whole ending, it was that Smoke determined how he was going to go out. Like, like he decided his destiny. In that moment, he was free.
Yep.
Right.
That.
He was back with his family. He was back with Annie and the baby.
He really got to be free.
Yeah, it was his choice too.
Say it again, Tanya. I'm sorry, excuse me. Say it again, Tanya.
It was his choice. Like he was like, this is what I'm going to do. I can do this. He took off the protection. Like, I'm going out. I'm taking all these
He took off the protection. Right.
He did.
Right.
Yep.
And because there were all these other forces like trying to force him to do this or whatever. And even when, Mary turned Stack, and then Stack's like, oh, I'm going to get Annie, and then the four of us will all be together as vampires and it'll be great. And he's like, well, that's not what I want. That's not what she wants.
Right.
We want to be together in, the traditional way. And that's what he got. So it is a very, like you said, triumphant ending. And Sammy gets to be successful. Because they said, oh, like a life as a musician is nothing but like heartache and sadness or whatever.
And I did like the way that, talk about foreshadowing, Derek. They kept saying these lines about, well, you were a soldier, weren't you? Well, weren't you a soldier? You heard it a few times.
Right.
Yeah.
You saw my boy go soldier on them at the end. I was like,
I was a soldier.
He's a soldier.
Right. And I was saying, like, and I just picked up on this one about like, we left the locker in the car. Like, oh, we don't need the locker. And I was like, no, that's right. You don't need the locker because the locker is going to be needed later, like.
Yep.
And when my boy took out that Chicago, that Chicago Tommy gun, I was like, oh, okay.
That was a World War II gun. Well, they were all World War II guns. They were the same. World War One. I'm sorry, World War One. They were all the same. They all brought them back because there was no supply, no quartermaster.
They had all this stuff.
Yeah, they brought them all back.
My God, the grenades and everything. I never had to. That's when I was clapping.
Yeah, right.
When he threw that grenade in that truck, that reminded me of a scene from A Bronx Tale. Y'all seen The Bronx?
Yeah.
And when they threw the Molotov, they threw it out at the black folks, and then black folks threw it back in, and okay, you got it.
But I love the way Ryan had that scene where that gun was firing right at the camera. I mean, he was just coming straight on to the camera, like, this is what we're gonna do. As the woman said I'll never forget that one. The sister was talking about why we burn down things in our own neighborhoods. And she was talking about the Monopoly game of 450 years, and she said, "You better be happy we're not coming back for revenge and only equality."
I say it all the time.
You better be glad.
You better be glad we are joyful folks.
Right.
Seriously.
We were made this way for a reason.
Seriously. Yeah.
But in that instance, my boy was looking for some revenge.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
And he got
Mhm.
it too.
Yeah.
For all of us.
Yeah.
Mhm. That was
I
grinning
told you
from ear to
the
ear.
movie was for us.
Oh, it sure was. And we were all
Mhm.
cheering.
Yep. And what's funny is that like each time I've been in the movie theater, there've been white people and other people present, and every time he like the guy says starts talking to him while he's seeing his baby and stuff, the Klansman, and he just gets up and shoots him, and everybody goes, "Yay!" And all the white people are looking around like, "What the hell? Y'all are clapping? The man is dead. You damn Skippy we are."
Yeah.
You know?
He was a
Absolutely.
head dragon. Is a head dragon? What's the name
Yep.
of it?
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry, Sabrina. I know you were about to wrap us up. Go ahead.
No,
Oh,
no,
okay.
Nope, that was
no.
it. Go ahead.
All right,
I
so
just-
then we go ahead.
I just want to get a shout out to Delroy Lindo.
Oh my God.
Yay.
We did not talk
Yes.
about him.
Yes. We haven't even
But-
There's
talked
so
about
much to talk
There's
about.
so if we ever did if we would just want to do a one on him, I mean, that
Right.
man, I came for him because I know I'm gonna get a good. He's just gonna bring it.
Mhm.
Always.
The humanity of him.
Mhm.
He was the human in this whole thing. He was when we met him, he was out there. He was on his, he was just doing his. He was surviving. He was
Out
bringing
there
the
on his
commu-
harmonica.
It was all about the community. He was talking about all the stuff with the sharecroppers. He's talking about his man that got killed because he wanted to go get this church, and he was too stupid to know to keep why he got all that money on him.
And then this-
He just told the story. He made everything so human, and in the end, he was the man that was like, you got to come through me.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody
Yes.
get away because I'm
Last
gonna
call.
be here. He cut
Right,
himself. I was like, yo. So don't forget about Slim.
No.
Whatever you do,
love
don't
love
forget
that
about Slim. God,
the scene where he was at the train station, and then I think Sammy started singing,
Yeah.
and he just snapped. He goes, "This is my spot."
Oh my God. The train station, though. The train station was everything.
Yes.
Wasn't
That
it?
depot, like you talk about bringing to life a place that we've just read about, and the words don't do justice because nobody's actually really painting a picture of it. And all of them having their spots, all these street musicians having their spots, and then those signs for the white people's
White-
waiting area and ticketing area. The train station was everything.
That was a scene. That
and so
was
is
such
the
a scene.
street. The street was like that too.
Right.
Like that
Yep.
street with the market because
Right.
Yes.
when you go see when you see it, like there's the tamale shop that's closed, and that's a story right there about the Mexicans who had to go. They talk about deporting now. They deported all the Mexicans back then, and that's why that store was closed. So there's so much. There's so much history in all of these scenes. That's why I can't wait for it to come to streaming so you can watch it over and over again.
Right.
and
I know
pick out all of this stuff. So it's just the story. It's just a great story, and that's all you ask for. It makes you get to see Black people as human beings. Not just these names, these sharecroppers. Jim Crow South. You know who they are. There's names to these people. You know what they did that one day when they weren't out there in the fields picking all that goddamn cotton. The blues singers. You know what they went through to get that blues to come out the way it sounds. It's just the movie hit me hard. Because I love anything that speaks to just making Black people happy, and this movie, as you can see, just made a ton of Black people. It made us happy. I mean, and it's not a happy movie.
no, but
it does.
triumphant.
Triumphant, great movie. Just a great story about Black people. And
I love that scene
that's
at
all
the
I
end
asked
when
for.
they showed them all getting ready for the juke joint night
Yes.
that afternoon.
Yeah.
They were all
Yes.
happy,
Yeah.
and they were
Yep.
all together, and they just like gonna have a nice fish fry.
That's what I'm.
I thought that
And
was
you
such
saw
a-
the people's faces. Yeah.
Yeah, you saw the people's faces, you saw all the characters, and you saw everybody working together, right? And it was this
Yeah.
communal project. Everybody was working together
Community. That's
in
right.
harmony, for one purpose. I love how Smoke and Stack weren't just gangsters either. I love that they made effort to show like, okay, he shot the guy. He shot one guy in the ass and the other guy in the kneecaps, and then he went and paid for them.
That's
to
black
fix
gangsters.
stuff. No, that's
Right,
how
Derek?
gangsters.
That's how black gangsters act.
That's how you do.
Gangster. That's how you do. Like, I mean, but it just shows like it's not like
pay for the
this
hospital bill.
two-dimensional. Like, oh, okay, I'm slinging shit and out here and just killing my neighborhood all the time. You know, like he taught the little girl about money
And
and how to
negotiate.
negotiate.
So cute.
You know.
Yep.
And you know,
Like,
there's-
no, he's like, no, this is not 10 cents is not acceptable.
Right,
Like, now
right.
come back at me with a number.
And you know, there's this one thing that I think Yvette said about how this film has something for everyone. And we're all talking about story, but the cinematography.
Oh,
And when you're writing something like this, you know, there's an opportunity for so many things to just fall through the cracks, right? Because it's such a big story. And it's the scene when with the Childs and the daughter is going to get the mother, and the camera is behind the daughter.
Yeah.
long shot.
And it's that long shot, and he's tracking behind,
Yep.
and it's all in one shot.
Yep.
It's all in one shot, and I was like, oh, he's really. And then they switch off from daughter to mother, so your camera's behind the daughter moving, and then it's pulling back the entire shot with the mother. I was like, yo, he's just getting nasty with it, you know. On every level, there's something for somebody to see, and just these little nuggets to pick from. It's a beautiful film. It's a beautiful film.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
So also amazing when Michael B. Jordan, he's playing the two characters, and there's so Stack rolls the cigarette and hands it to Smoke, and he takes a drag, and then he hands it back.
Loved it.
This is not the Parent Trap. This was like next level.
Right.
This is not the Parent Trap.
I mean, they're never interacting with each other. There's like they're standing here, and this one's standing over there, and never the twain shall meet. But this was like a dance between the two.
It was a dance.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah. And took the cigarette without looking at his brother.
Right.
The
I mean, it was
text that they
so
had to do.
Yes.
Poor Michael B. Jordan had to film, you know, both characters, and had to wear that the contraption, the halo to like they can bring him back into the thing. I mean, but had to play each scene twice.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, I just don't even know how he kept that kind of intensity up the whole time. But he's
a professional.
Amazing performance.
Yep.
Come a long way.
This did it for me. This like totally raised the bar for me, for him.
Yeah.
Like I think this is the first time I've ever seen him where I really disassociated. Like he is those two people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well,
exactly. Yeah.
Wume, who plays Annie, she said she knew which character he was, even when she had her back to him. Whether he was coming in as Stack or whether he was coming in as Smoke. Because he walked differently. He did something a little different. Like his energy was so different. And she said it was a sight to behold. I mean, she could not believe it, what he was doing with those two characters. So
he really deserves an Academy Award for this. I feel like, you know, he's not going
all the medals, everything.
Yeah,
He believes all of them.
The music, the cinematography, the directing,
the editing, editing alone.
everything.
Like, Saniqua got me paying attention to the editing now since since you and her had that little conversation about editing. And I'm like, you're right. And I don't pay enough attention to it. And now I do.
Yeah.
And the editing can make or break or change the tone of the scene.
So the first after credit scene where we see that Stack and Mary are still alive and they come back, and now we've got the actual,
in that sweater.
The sweater.
That Biggie Small sweater.
Oh my God. With the knuckle ring that says
Right, the ring.
and her with her jeans and her asymmetrical, like, I mean, like
She has some bamboo. Did she have bamboo earrings in?
The hoops.
She had big hoops.
The big
hoops. I thought she had bamboos and looking like salt and pepper over there.
Right. That's exactly what she looked like. I was
Very
like,
fly girl.
I didn't see it as big
A
as
fly girl, right?
Fly girl.
I saw it as a Bill Cosby
A
sweater.
Bill Cosby sweater. Exactly.
I'm here to clear that up.
That is not a Bill Cosby. That's a Biggie
No,
Small
that was
sweater.
the Biggie Small.
Okay, that's what I got from it.
Mhm.
Yeah, no,
Right.
the line, the Big Poppy line where he says, you know, I'm feeling better now.
I'm feeling better.
Wearing
Right.
Coogie now, because that was Stack. I'm feeling better now. I'm wearing Coogie now.
Coogie now. That's it.
And Bill Cosby didn't wear Coogie. He wore some other stuff that was not Coogie. What he was wearing.
Was this
But it was the it's
know
the
what
exact same one. That was the crazy thing.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
but
understand
that
what
was
you're
that was
You do? You get it?
Mhm.
No, because I said the same thing.
I
and
think
Yvette
people at your
cleared me
age
up.
would
That cleared me up.
think that too,
Generational
yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, because there is a lot of people that would have identified that as a Bill Cosby sweater.
Yes. Oh,
You know,
yeah,
because it
yes,
straight
yes.
up looked like a Bill Cosby sweater. And then there's other people that are going to get the Biggie reference.
That it was an authentic Coogie.
It was authentic. That was an authentic one because that was the original Coogie sweater. That was the one that made them famous.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Well, that was their. And then somebody said that was supposed to be Biggie and Faith. They represented Biggie and Faith. What was the girl
Faith Hill.
name?
Faith Hill.
Oh, Faith Hill.
Yeah. His,
You know,
Yeah.
there's
Yeah,
something
yeah,
with him. That, okay, is it? Do I have the name right?
Yes, you do.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
We're all with you.
Okay,
But it was just so funny that reading about that and thinking the same thing that you did, Fran, then finding out that Bill didn't wear those because his costume designer on the Cosby Show thought they were too loud, and he was wearing some other brand, and that Coogie sweater is an Australian design. To represent the original Aborigine dunes and sands and all that. And it was like a $400 or $500 sweater that people would go to Australia. They would get this sweater. It would be like a nice little, you spent so much money. And then it got taken up by the, Biggie, and then gone.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was like all these,
a New York staple.
Yeah. So it was all these traveling white
staple.
people, right, that were wearing that sweater, and then then we took it over.
We appropriated it.
Yeah, we appropriated the Australian sweater. Thank you very much. So, but yeah, I think that was really funny. And in this week of Met Gala dandyism, I just had to get that in.
Okay. All right. So, okay. Anyway, so the coda, you were talking about the coda. Come on, Sabrina, wrangle us.
Yeah. Okay. What I wanted to know, now that we know that Stack and Mary are alive, are you guys jonesing for a sequel?
Well, they're not alive. They're dead. But
The undead.
They're still around.
They're still around, right?
Yeah.
I think though they still have a sense of honor because they were invited in and they could have laid waste to that place.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. And it was all about just seeing him and reconnecting with him. And that to me says honor and integrity.
He was holding on to the deal.
Holding on to the deal. So like you said, this could be, he can go so many places with this. So
He knew he was getting old. He said he doesn't have much time left.
Mm-hmm.
And he
offered
He could smell death on him or illness
that
or
was
whatever.
so creepy. And he said, I can give you this life now if you want it.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, no, I think I'm gonna go with my ancestors.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
No.
And he respected
honored
that
it.
choice. Yeah, he
Yes.
respected that choice.
He respected that choice.
And put his $200 on the ball.
Right.
I love that. I love that whole scene. It was just perfect.
That's what
It
I
was
told you.
perfect.
Don't
It was
leave.
beautiful.
Don't leave.
It was beautiful. And I feel like to your question though, do I want a sequel? No.
I don't either.
I don't. This story was told.
That's
And
it.
That's what Ryan says.
this story was Sammy's, and I don't feel like I love those two characters, but they're not enough for me for this story.
Ryan said he wanted this to be a whole meal.
It is.
Mhm.
It is. I didn't need an amuse-bouche, nor do I need a dessert.
Okay, thank you very much.
I bet you Warner
I
Brothers
only
wants
know
a
what that
sequel now.
is because I look at Top Shelf.
I know Warner Brothers wants a sequel.
You know they're gonna beg him.
Oh,
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
gonna throw money at
No,
him
it
too.
just have to be his next great project, not a sequel. This story is
Yeah,
done.
a new IP, something other fresh.
He wants to do X-Files.
yeah,
I
he's
saw that too. I saw
Mm.
something about
He's
that.
doing X-Files. He doesn't want to. He's doing,
doing
it.
it.
Oh,
yeah.
it's done.
Oh,
Is it?
there's
He's
a
doing it. Yeah.
they're doing a new series or a movie.
I believe
Mo-
it's a movie.
Movie.
Oh, that's fantastic. I would go
What's-
see anything he
Michael
does.
B.
It
Jordan is
doesn't
supposed to
matter.
be doing the Thomas Crown Affair.
Okay.
Oh, I know.
Yes.
That was my film. That was my
The
movie.
original one
Yeah.
was Steve McQueen. Yeah.
That's the one. I ain't talking about that other one. Pierce,
All right.
get out
So,
of here.
all right, Sabrina.
All right,
come on.
so we loved it. So, any closing comments that we want to make before we wrap up? Sinners by Ryan Coogler, directed by, written by, and produced by
Produced.
Ryan Coogler.
It's a brilliant masterpiece, and I hope it gets all the flowers. And even if these people don't want to acknowledge us in their academy, this movie is everything for me. You know,
Oh, it's gonna be
for
a
us.
fight.
Like, the academy is constantly wrong about everything. So, it's not. I think we just need our own Black People Academy thing, and just keep it moving. It is not the BET Awards. I'm sorry, that's not.
Oh,
That doesn't do it.
no. Anyway, all right. So, thank you, Warner Brothers, for sending us all this information. I totally appreciate it. This is new for us to be associated with anything with Warner Brothers. And next time I go to California, I won't do the Universal tour. I will do the Warner Brother tour. So, which I have never done. So, hey,
Yes, thank you, Warner Brothers, for that.
Yes. And so thank you, everybody, for listening. And I'm going to kick it over to Yvette to tell everybody where they can find us.
You can find us at SyFySistas.com. That's SyFySistas.com. Join us on the mothership. That's MUTHASHIP. And the SyFy Sistas Book Club, both on Facebook. On Instagram and Threads, sci-fi.sisters. And under the blue skies, SyFy Sistas. For more interviews, the live show, and our infamous Top 10 series, subscribe to our YouTube channel at SyFy Sistas Inc. Become a patron of SyFy Sistas today at patreon.com/SyFy Sistas. The Trek Geeks presenting sponsor is Fansets. Go to fansets.com for pins and memorabilia for all your favorite franchises. Visit fansets.com and use Trek Geeks, all caps, for your exclusive 10% discount. Our friends at Stranger Comics, the best in fantasy comics, invite our listeners to visit strangercomics.com and use SFS to receive an exclusive 10% discount. After listening to this podcast, please rate us and write a review. We may just read it on an upcoming episode.
And I want to say thank you to Sister Sabrina for leading us, the Cinnamon Cinephile, for leading us in this great discussion. I want to say thank you to Derek Tyler Attico, author of the autobiography of Benjamin Sisko and host of Soul of the Story, and Tanya Scott-Thomas, host of Two Moons and a Microphone. Thank you, our family, for joining us. We love you guys. We got to say thank you to the baddest associate producers anywhere in the world. That would be Stephanie Baker, Sailor Marge, and Karen Dramera. You are the best. Thank you for enabling us to do what we do. And that's it, my friends. We're out of here. Peace, love, and hair grease.